Hi, I'm going to discuss EFL acquiring. I will focus on the aspects that influence EFL, that is, socioeconomic background, world knowledge, vocabulary acquisition, schema, which is very important, attitude and cultural attitude toward EFL learning. And what I see the most important thing is motivation, both teachers and students' motivation. I would do it through a case study. I think it could be very beneficial for us as future educators to do it through case studies, real case studies. So I'm talking about a girl. She was living in a development town. That is, we're talking about low socioeconomic background and fewer opportunities. When she reached elementary school at the age of 6, her vocabulary in her L1 was relatively poor. We would ignore critical age hypothesis and focus mainly on her acquiring of reading comprehension. So when she managed to read and write, it was like a new world was discovered to her. There was much effort that was put both by her teachers and her parents on her reading comprehension skills. So she managed to read and write and to comprehend very well, and she acquired rich vocabulary, rich schema, her structural schema, linguistic schema, and her content schema were very well established. She had world knowledge for reading lots of books, so her reading comprehension skills were very, very well established. When she reached high school, that was a different story, and now we're going to discuss EFL acquisition. In that high school, the attitude and the cultural attitude toward EFL learning were pretty negative. Both teachers and students didn't see much importance in acquiring EFL. They didn't see what it was good for. So in that school, the students most of them learned 3 units for Bogrut, and only the high achievers learned for 4 units for Bogrut. And in the summer before 12th grade, that girl and the classmates discovered for the first time there was such a thing called 5 units in Bogrut. It really shook the world, and they debated the whole summer on what to do about it because their friends, the ones who went to high school where they had 5 units, told them it was kind of basic requirement in that school, 5 units of English. So most of them did not have the sense of competence and they weren't motivated enough. They were too afraid they wouldn't be able to make it and bridge that gap. So they refused even to think about studying for 5 units. Only 5 of those classmates wanted to study for 5 units. They were motivated enough, they believed in themselves, and they had the courage to go to the teacher and ask to do 5 units. The teacher went to the principal and she managed to convince him. It wasn't very easy, but he had 3 terms. One, they should study 3 times a week for the whole year. Two, they should pay for it. And three, they have to pass an exam in order to go for the Bukrut. So all the 5 of them paid, stayed, and learned for the whole year. Only one passed the exam and did, for the first time in that school, 5 units per group in English. Why was that girl so successful? So that girl had her L1 very well established. It was the same girl. She had rich vocabulary, she had world knowledge, she had the schema, and she managed to close that gap that they all had in English, and she succeeded. And the one important thing was that her attitude toward EFL was very positive. Her teacher highly motivated her, and she was motivated because for her, EFL was her way out. And she did it, and she succeeded. And that's all for us. I wish you a very, very challenging and rewarding semester. Bye.